I just ran across this video on Instagram, and I mean, this woman is preaching what she's saying. As you can see, it says, anyone else notice this? Democrats are using black women. And before I get into my commentary, I want to read a comment from a brother. Um, and I'm talking about this comment is so spot on until it doesn't even make. I'm talking about this comment is on the money, bullseye. Honestly, they use black women for everything because they're the least married and the most rebellious towards men, meaning they have no leadership and a lot of times can be manipulated through feelings with no one to check them or logically make a decision, but that's how a lot of them want it because they're strong, independent, and don't need a man. So they're the easiest target. This brother just preached a sermon. This brother just unlocked unlock the unlockable level. And the black woman is who she is. Like I always tell men, the black woman is who she is. She's not gonna get any better. And the reason why she's not gonna get any better, that's why the power that be. Think about it. Now I'm about to break it down in my way. This is why the power that be main objective was and is to destroy the black family. Because they understand that if the woman is running the household, that is in so many different ways, uh, um, the plan that they put in place, the plan that has been put in place is working perfectly against the black community. That way we can get one of those Negroes from out of the hood who raised by their mama and struggling, who is very talented, put him behind a microphone. He's going to rap about destroying his community, and a whole bunch of other black children who come up in single parent household that has no structure in the home is going to look up to him and going to perpetuate what he's rapping about, whether he lived it or not. And they're going to continue to destroy themselves. The black community, man, are its own destruction. And I'm not letting the men off the hook because, like I always say, this is not a gender war channel. This is not black man versus black woman. And like I always tell my brothers is most of these Negroes out here, they have, and like I say, a lot of them was raised by women, and that's not their fault that their dad decided to bust up in their moms and not raise them, or they never wanted to be with her in the first place, and they just wanted sex. It's not their fault that they was raised without a man. That's not their fault. So I can't blame them for that. But what I tell my brothers is, because most of you Negroes worship everything but God, God have allowed, not caused, not sent, not orchestrated, but he have allowed the woman to be out of control. And then what happens is a trickle down effect. Because the black woman is out of control, this is why the black children are out of control. At school, in the communities, everywhere they go, it's chaos. And I got a video I had wanted to speak specifically about why black children are like that. I'm going to drop that video later on today. But the thing about it is this. The black family was destroyed, and so it's easy for the woman to be in a position where she's alone. And of course, because she's alone, and that's not her alone raising the children, that's not her natural purpose. That's abnormal. That's not natural. So it's natural she's going to constantly be very angry, always in a position of where she need, so she can be used easily. And nobody can tell her anything. Why? Because if you say something about her or towards her, you're sexist. And if she's black, you're sexist and racist. And so many people in the world, especially people that's not of color, are scared of the R word, racist, until they are letting some of these black women completely destroy America. And they are embarrassing themselves. They're embarrassing the women that's coming behind them. And they like the people like Ayanna Presley's, Jasmine Crockett's, Corey Bush, Maxine Waters. And AOC is not a woman of color, but she want to be so bad. And it's like they are deranged, racist, and I don't understand it. I don't understand how places like MSNBC is, I know, ran by a white person or a Jewish person, but this lets you know that it's power that be that want you Negroes destroyed. Like you got places like MSDNC, MSNBC, and CNN is not ran by by black people. It's ran by either Jewish people or white people, and yet they let people like Joy Reid and all these women come on their show and spew nothing but racism. Because what that does is that keeps black people angry, and anytime you're angry, you're not thinking straight. So as long as you angry, you're going to stay right where you at. And that's what they want you Negroes to do. And it's working perfectly. And like she said, they using black women. And like this brother said, it's very easy to use black women. And black women are great to use because one, all they care about is power. They love to get on the soap. But they got a woman in okay, I'm in a town, right? I'm in a smaller city. And like, whenever my city is the metropolitan area, but it got certain areas that separated. I mean, it's separated by a bridge, and there's another city they have their own mayor, but it's only a bridge that's separated. So they considered our metropolitan area of the area where I stay in, and they got a woman that stays in this area right across the bridge where it's a lot of chemical plants there. And I'm just showing you how the black woman, all she cares about is being on the soapbox, and it doesn't matter what's coming out of her mouth. If someone gives her a soapbox and whether they pretend to listen, whether they listen out of white guilt, however the situation may go, they are it doesn't they will get on the soapbox and say the sky is green. If somebody will listen to them, they will say it and mean it. So this woman, I'm just giving an example of how the black woman is used and how she's really a laughing. The whole black community a laughing stock, but the black woman, she's very easy to use, and all she wants is power and money too. But the most thing that trumps everything with the black woman is power. Being a rebel, being a renegade. That's her strongest power. Nobody, listen, man, you will not catch no woman of no race on this earth saying she's strong and independent and don't need a man. It's only one woman that does that. But let me get back to my little example. They got a woman in my town, and she stays across the bridge, in an area where a lot of chemical plants are, there's a lot of emissions in that area. And this woman fight for the last couple of years has been getting rid of the plants, getting rid of fossil fuels and these things. But I'm gonna show you how she's all talk and no action. Number one, several police. I'm sure several people have she's been on CNN. I'm sure several people have donated to her because these white people, like with the Black Lives Matter situation, all of that money that they raised, that didn't come from black people. That came from companies that have white guilt and they just wanted to, quote unquote, do the right thing, right? Which wasn't the right thing, but in their mind it was. Tax write-off for them, no big deal. So I'm sure this woman have a good amount of money, right? This woman is staying in the area that she's speaking against. And in the city where I stay at, the chemical plant is the main, but outside the casinos, the chemical plant is the main source of income. And a lot of that money goes to the casino. So if they was to take that down, my city it would affect my city. Because this is what people do. The majority of people, men especially, women too. In my area, this is what they do. They go to high school and they go to the chemical plant. This is how they make their way in life. This is a lot of people bread and butter in this area. And she's trying to get them took away all because of fossil fuels and the emissions that's so-called affecting her and her family. And yet she's never moved to my town where she would be a little distance away. She still stay in the town where these plants are. So it's clear that she's not about what she's talking about. It's because she has been given a soapbox, and the black woman is like a child when she gets a soapbox. And if you don't understand what I mean by a soapbox, a crowd, an audience, somebody who will listen to her. And so the powers that be understand this about the black woman. So at this point in time, a lot of the powers that be are left leaning liberals, Democrats. So they're putting these people, the George Soroses of the world, and all these people, they're putting black women at the forefront to hoop and holler about nothing, to hoop and holler, to go against what's supposed to be being done and the right thing. Like I said, I'm going to let this young lady speak on some of the stuff that I'm talking about. And they just want to be heard. They know that. And I'm at a point now where I don't know if they actually think they making sense or they just, once again, they love being on their soapbox. Telling you, like I say, what this brother said right here, man, I'm talking about really, when I read this comment, I almost said to myself, man, I don't know if I need to make this video because this dude just said, not a mouthful. This dude just gave a blueprint of the liberal black woman, and 85% of black women are liberal. I'm gonna say that again. 85% of black women are liberal. They're raising your sons. If your son can turn into a homosexual, and they're going to support him in his homosexual. They're not going to tell him it's wrong, right? These women are helping destroy the black community. And you know, like I say, the men don't get off the hook because a lot of these men I've done in the past, we lay with women that we know we don't want to be with. I don't have any children, so nothing ever came out of it for me. But we lay up with these women that we know we don't want to be with, inseminate them, and then babies come, and then we leave, and they're stuck to raise these children on their own, which is not normal. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over children. And because most of these Negroes, as for mentioned, don't worship God. Some of them go to church, but they don't worship God. They worship the pastor. They worship these rappers. They worship getting a bag. They worship this. They worship everything but God. And so because they the head and they're not worshiping God, what has happened? God have allowed, once again, not orchestrated, but he have allowed the black woman to rebel against the black man. This has a trickle down effect. Now the children are rebelling against the woman. And once again, this is why our communities are destructive. This is why the children are completely destructive toward one another and toward everyone who in their path. Right? So I'm going to read this comment once again, man, because this brother just laid it out. And then I'm going to let her say what she's going to say, this young woman who's breaking it down. And I'm probably going to bring the conclusion unless there's something else come to mind. Because they're going crazy about this whole Doge thing. That's what this all about. They going crazy because what they have been doing has been caught. They have been caught red-handed what they have been doing. They have been getting money to go to these other countries for all kind of different miscellaneous things, and they getting kickback. And so they going into office broke, making $100 and some $1,000 Congress salary or whatever they make as a politician, and they leaving out of office with multi-millions, sometimes in some cases hundreds of millions. And so Donald Trump and Elon Musk, two billionaires, then pulled the sheet off, and now they going crazy. And of course, outside of Elizabeth Warren, everybody who is fussing and speaking about this is the black woman. Right now in New York, Donald Trump said that nobody under 18 will be allowed to get transgender surgery. And if you go against that law, he removing funding from that particular state or hospital. And who come out against him? Not a white man, not a white woman, the evil black Letitia James of New York. has come out against him, just to come against him. And once again, they are going to use her, and they're going to get behind her. All the white people, everybody going to get behind her, because they understand that, okay, nobody can't say nothing to her, because if they say something about her, they're going to be labeled racist. If they say something about her, they're going to be labeled sexist. Black women are being used. And like I say, before I let this woman speak what she's about to say and break everything down that I'm talking about, I want to read this comment one more time. Honestly, they use black women for everything because they're the least married. Oh, we got the most education. That's another thing about it. I want to stop right there and I want to break that down quick. You always hear black women on they loud horn talking about how they the most educated. But this is the thing. They're the most educated. But guess what else? They're the least married. Majority of them overweight and weigh more than them. And this is not me bashing. This is constructive criticism so the black woman can look in the mirror or point her friend to the mirror, because all black women are not this way. They're the least married. They're the most overweight, unwanted. Now, everybody loves to stroke them because they're easy like Sunday morning. I was just telling my mom, you go to these doctor's office and you deal with these doctors and nurses and all because I want to post that too about my procedure. I just went on the eye surgery and had to go through that whole process. And you notice when you go in these doctor's offices and you go in these eye clinics and you go in the hospitals, majority of these white women are married. They're married. They go home but the majority of these black women, that's why they're so angry. Majority of them have 2 or 3 children or more. They're not married. Some of them never been married. And they're angry. They're always angry because they're in an unmarital relationship, right? God don't bless unmarital relationships. If you're living in sin and fornication, don't expect God to bless that relationship. Why would He bless something that even if let's just say God wanted to bless your unmarital relationship where you living in sin, fornicate. Let's just say that, right? Let's just say, for instance, God say, you know what, I'm gonna go. The devil, the scriptures say, the devil is always the accuser of the brother. He's always at God's side, or he's always telling God, but you said that He used His own word. So if He want to bless a couple that's fornicate and in an unmarital relationship, the devil gonna be right there saying, but your words speak against that. And God ain't, one thing about God, He is not gonna go against His word. He is not double-minded. So a lot of them in these unmarital relationships and all kind of stuff come with that because it's not of God, and all kind of emotions come with that. And women wear their sleeve. Women wear their emotions on their sleeve, especially black women, black people, period, but especially black women. And they go to work and they be angry. So this is why majority of black women are angry when you see them at the job. They look angry. They got an attitude. Not all of them, but most of them. To be honest with you, I will go in, when I go in places, bro, I'll wait in a line versus going to, if they got a line if they got 2 bank tellers or 2 receptionists or whatever, and 1 black, 1 white, the white woman could have 4 people in line. The black woman could have 1. I'm getting the woman, the white woman, because white women are more graceful. This is not me being racist. This is not me saying something to bash my women. This is me calling a spade a spade. I'm not calling it a club, a heart, or a diamond. A spade is a spade, and everybody listening to me know I'm not lying. Whether they like what I'm saying or not, they know I'm not lying. Black women don't even like to work for black women, right? But that's another story for another video. But what I'm saying is, they always hollering about they the most educated. They don't do nothing for the black community. Nothing. You can't. And like I always tell people, the revolution will not be led by a black woman. It just won't happen. They're the most educated, but that means anything. All they're doing is buying designer clothes, getting their teeth and body fixed, and going to take trips. That's all they're doing with that education. They're not getting married more. They're not raising better children. None of that. So let me finish. Because they're the least married and most rebellious towards men, which is something that is initiated by the white liberal woman. I'll never forget this, another short story. I got a homegirl, she got married. And I remember one day she posted on Facebook, the caption was, "I'm tired, but that man want to eat, so I'm about to cook for him." And a white woman, a white liberal, gets in the comment section and says, he could find something to eat. You tired, you worked all day. And I called out on her BS. I said, you're married. I said, if your husband tell you to go get him something to eat, you're going to do it. But you telling my woman to do something to go against her man that could probably, no. And I called her out on that BS. Because that's what they'll do. The feminist movement was initiated and orchestrated by a white liberal woman. I know they got a black woman face on it, but it was the power that be that want the black woman single so she can raise kids, because they understand that if a woman raising children, majority of the time they know what type of child that's going to be. He's going to be a destroyer in some form or fashion to his community. So I'm going to start over and then I'm going to let her go with her commentary. Honestly, they use black women for everything, especially everything evil, because they're the least married and the most rebellious toward men, meaning they have no leadership and a lot of times can be manipulated through feelings. Well, I feel that's their favorite saying. Well, I feel, with no one to check them or logically make a decision, but that's how a lot of them want it. Because he's being sarcastic now. Because they're strong, independent, and don't need a man. They're the easiest targets. So let me let this lady say her commentary and I'm going to close.
Have you guys noticed that recently, since things have been going very, very bad for the Democratic Party and all of this junk and all of the money laundering and everything else you can imagine, whenever this stuff starts happening, they start throwing black female politicians out in front of our face. Like all of a sudden, I'm seeing an influx of black female politicians. And this message is for my people. You guys have to understand, this is a game. This is a game. They're using these racial tensions in order to get you to not see what's actually right in front of your face. So that when these black female politicians with their power and their voice and my head is bald and I'm strong, I'm a strong black woman. When you start seeing that, understand they're trying to take your attention away from the actual truth, what's actually going on. They want you to play into the race baiting. They want you to think that the Republican or Trump administration that is coming after the terrible things that have been going on for many, many years, that it has nothing to do with our money, but it has everything to do with race, because he's racist, remember? So when you see him going after and exposing this BS that's been going on, and then you start seeing these black faces, they're trying to make you think that he's attacking them as black people. He's attacking the people, that have this front runner, the face of blackness. But here's something I want you to understand. There's this politician, I forgot her name is Omar. She's the one with the head wrap. Now, she looks like she might be from Africa, South Africa maybe.
Eelhead Omar.
Or Ethiopian or something like that. That woman came into office. Her wealth was at like $65,000 a year. Do you know she's worth over $84 million now? And she was just recently voted out, thank goodness. But see, they have her in the front runner. I am here and I am strong and they can't stop me. It's an act. Don't fall for it. Stop thinking every single thing that Trump is doing is attacking black people. He's literally getting us our money back. We're literally finding out why we've been so broke and the people up top just been juggling all the money and keeping it away from. That's what's really in front of you. The people that you've been following and voted for possibly, they've been laundering your money. They've been stealing from you. And just because they throw a few black women, that's part of the boule. Just because they throw a few black women in your face does not mean you have to agree with them. They're working for them too. All skin folk, what? Ain't kinfolk.
And I'm bringing this video close, but there's one more thing I want to say. And as I said, not only can nobody else of another race say something against a black woman because they're going to be accused as being racist or sexist, The black men don't say nothing either. You know why? Because the majority of them was raised by women, so they subservient to women by default. The average black man out here worships women. The average. Black men are the biggest simps in America. And it's not even close. All these other men, they do what they got to do and they women come to them naturally. Our men jump through hula hoops, go through all that, and our women, for the most part, still don't respect us. And we still be subservient to them because guess why? We was raised by mama. All we know is mom and our sisters and our aunties and our mama friend. So we come up, in most cases, automatically by default, subservient to women by default. And it's just sad. And they'll come against you for saying something about one of these black women. Oh, you hate. I hate them because I'm being constructive to them. So that means you hate your children when you correct them? But I'm out of here, man. I'm about to be back uploading. I had a situation where I had to go. Like I said, I'm gonna post that. But you guys be blessed, man. And I thank y'all for taking time to listen to my commentary. Videos coming. More videos coming, man. I love y'all. One.